lost Stan Mikita yesterday. Just wondered your recollections or experiences with Stan.
Yeah, well, first of all, obviously it's a sad day for his family and obviously the players and teammates that knew him, the fans in Chicago. I grew up, I think he was one of my dad's favorite players, and so the very first game I played, my first face-off, I got to go against Stan Mikita, so I thought that was pretty cool.
You won it.
Did I win it? I don't even remember. I didn't win too many. But you know what? He just was a special guy, and, you know, not too many guys in the game of hockey have ever had the most penalty minutes and then won the Lady Byng and then won the scoring race and the Art Trophy, so good on him. He was great for our sport, and he was innovative and probably was a big part of bringing the curve stick to hockey today. But most importantly, he was very much liked by his teammates and had a tremendous family.
Wayne, it was 30 years ago tomorrow that the trade to Los Angeles happened. Do you still have recollections of it, or does it still get, it takes back to the emotions of that day?
No, you know, it's for other people to talk about. I don't really talk about it much. You know, it happened. It's part of life. It's part of history. You know, it seems like it's, you know, it was 10 years and 25 years, and here we are at 30 years. So, you know, 35 years, I'm sure I'm going to get asked the same questions, but I don't talk too much about it. Everybody sort of knows what transpired, excuse me, what happened, and that's that.
They tore down.
I'm sorry? Oh, I don't make those assumptions. I let other people kind of make those decisions and weigh in on it. You know, it was just probably as much a surprise to me as it was to everyone else that it was traded, but that's part of sports.
What does the Kunlun Star Ambassador do? What are you supposed to be doing in China?
So we're going to go to China, and we've been working on this for close to 2 years. And the Chinese people and the Chinese business community has really rallied around ice hockey because they're hosting the 2022 Winter Olympics, and so they really want to have a good showing, so they built these academies. I think they have one in Canada and one in the United States. And so we're going to go over, my son and I, we're going to do a little bit of a hockey academy there, and we're going to see about building ice rinks in China. And it turns out there's an NHL game when we're there, so we'll get to see a game. So it'll be a fun trip. I've never been to China. I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, it should be a lot of fun.
That's a big untapped market there that you can kind of...
Yeah, you know, the Chinese people have really rallied around hockey. Somebody told me that last year, Game 6, Pittsburgh and Nashville had 36 million people in China that watched Game 6. So it shows you what size of a market it is. It's pretty amazing. So good on the NHL for realizing that, and they've stepped in. They've been over there last year, and they're really trying to put a little bit of an imprint of our game and our sport in China, and it just only helps make our game get bigger.
Wayne, you get a lot of credit. You went to LA and you spread the gospel for hockey across the South, and I'm not sure you knew you were doing it at the time.
No, I wasn't.
But now you're going to China and you are spreading the gospel, and you do know what you're doing at the time. Is this like a second chance at this for you? What's this
Oh,
like?
no. This is a really, it's great for hockey. It's a good business transaction for me and my family. My son runs hockey camps, and this would be really great experience for him. But one person doesn't make the game. One person doesn't sell the game. It takes everyone. It takes the sport itself. The sport makes the player doesn't make the sport. So, you know, I'm going there. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun, and hopefully, you know, hockey gets bigger and stronger and better in China. That's the goal.
You want the Olympics in China, the NHL?
Oh, I've made no secret that I believe the players should be at the Olympics. I'm a huge backer of us playing in the Olympic Games. I think it's special. I think it rallies the country. The players love to play in it. Hopefully they can come to an agreement, the league and the union, and we can get the best players back into the Olympics.
So let me say this then, if you are successful, what you're trying to do in China, is there going to be, can you create an environment over there that the players and the union and the league can frankly not say no to?
Oh, I don't know about that. You know, that's up for the union and the players and the commissioner and the owners to make that decision. That's not for me. I don't, you know, have the answers or all the answers to that sort of stuff. That's between the union and Mr. Bettman. Listen, I've made no secret. I think it's great for guys like Connor and Draisaitl and playing the Olympics. It was great for me. It was great for Sydney. I'd love to see those kids get that chance.
So did they call you about the Chinese academies?
Yeah, we met, and we met 2 years ago and started the ball rolling and slowly came to an agreement. It's been kind of fun.
You talk about this tournament and just, I mean, is this a tournament you have to kind of educate people into getting bigger?
Oh, you know, listen, it's going to take a little bit of time. I mean, I played in '77, the World Junior Tournament. We had 1,200 people in the Montreal Forum. And now you look at a World Junior game, Canada plays, you have 17,000 people. So it takes time. This isn't going to happen overnight. It's a great hockey market and a great sports city. So, you know, they had a nice crowd for game one, and I'm sure as the week goes along here, the Canadians will draw more and more people. The Canadian team's been tremendous. I'm very impressed by the size and the skill level and the speed. So this is a stepping stone, you know, 2 years from now it'll be bigger and better.
Bobby Orr came out a couple weeks ago and said he thought Canadian kids spent too much time playing summer hockey. I know you played lacrosse and ball and all those things.
I'm a big believer of Bobby Orr. I agree with that. I've always said that from a lot of years that, you know, when I was 12, 13, 14, I played baseball, lacrosse, track and field. I think all those sports helped me be a better hockey player. I think there's a little bit of a unfair balance. Some kids can't afford to play in the summertime. They can't afford to play all year, and they think they get left behind. And to me, that's not true. In a lot of ways, those kids, by playing soccer and lacrosse, I think those sports help their hockey. And when I finished hockey in April, mid-April usually, I threw my bag in the basement, and I didn't get it back until after Labor Day. I never skated in the summertime. I didn't go to hockey schools. My parents couldn't afford it, to be quite honest. So I played baseball, lacrosse. I played those sports, and I think they helped my hockey career. And the other thing about it was every time I came back in September, I was fresh and excited to play again because I hadn't skated for 3 or 4 months. And even when I was in the NHL, I very rarely skated until the first week of September because we didn't start camp in those days till September 17, 18. So I never skated until a couple weeks before. Now you train and get ready physically, you got to do that. But I think that by not skating in the off season, I was always a lot fresher in January, February when you have, you know, it's a little bit of a downtime because it's a long year.
Let's talk about the Hlinka Gretzky Cup.
Yep.
First one. How big of an opportunity is this to be hosting this in Edmonton
Yeah.
and for the players?
Well, first of all, it's a great sports city, and you know the history of this organization now just gets bigger and better and stronger, and you know 5 championships, and that's pretty exciting. And then on top of that, this arena is probably the most beautiful hockey arena in North America. And for the kids to come in here and get a chance to play in this arena, I know if I was 16 and 17, I'd be pretty excited about it.
They didn't. You didn't have the curve stick like Mikita did. You didn't
No,
wear his helmet either.
No, I couldn't wear the helmet. It looked too heavy, and the stick was too big of a curve. So I didn't do much as Stan Mikita did. But I'll tell you one thing: I played golf with him a couple of times, and he was one of the great golfers as a hockey player. He was like a 1 handicap. I played with him in Chicago at Medina one year. I must have shot close to 100, and I think he was 71 or 72, so it was pretty embarrassing.
What's the evening before a major golf tournament like for you now as a dad-in-law?
Well, you know, listen, it's interesting. You know, I got a chance to spend the week in New York when we were there, and you know, he's very serious and very focused, and you know, I just kind of try to stay out of his way. I know as a player, as an athlete, you know, especially the night before, you don't really want to talk a lot, and you just kind of focus on what you're doing, and that's what he does. He's got his routine. Thursday and Friday in New York were wonderful, and Saturday and Sunday were tough. But that's part of sports, you know, you get highs and lows. But the golfers today, probably because of Tiger was the guy that really implemented physical fitness. These guys work out every day hard, both with weights and, you know, endurance. They go to Soul Cycle or spin classes. So they're great specimens now. They're not just golfers, they're great athletes, and that's probably a lot to do with what Tiger did. So it's strange for me to see him. He plays in the afternoon, he'll go work out for 2 hours in the morning, but that's his routine and he sticks to it.
How did your relationship with Hlinka, how did that evolve?
Well, we played against each other a little bit. Then I got to know him through the '98 Olympics when they stole our gold medal. Kidding. You know, listen, losing is horrible, and it's so gut-wrenching, especially at that level. But if there's any sort of hidden lining, it was unreal for hockey that the Czechs won gold medal. It really boosted the sport over there and in that area, and he was a huge part of that. You know, he was a great coach. So I got to know him a little bit, and when they asked me to be part of this, that had always been over in Europe, they wanted to bring it to Canada. I was honored and thrilled to be part of it. So here we are today.
A lot of young kids playing in this tournament
Yeah.
who hope to follow in your footsteps. What would be your advice to them?
You know, it's hard. You just don't know at 16 and 17 years old who's going to be. I mean, listen, you got Lemieux and the Crosbys and guys like that are can't misses. And then you got guys that come along and might get drafted in the 3rd round or 4th round like a Curry or Messier and become Hall of Famers. So we don't know the future for any of these kids, but I would give them the same advice Gordie Howe gave me. You got to be the hardest working player every night, and if you work hard, good things happen. And I've always found the guys who love the game the most work the hardest and put the most time in. And it's, you know, it's not a big secret why Mark Messier or Paul Coffey or why those guys are in the Hall of Fame, because they love to play. And each and every game, the bigger the game, the more excited they got and the better they played. And that's what you want to get out of kids. That I met with the kids before game 1, and I said, this is something you'll never forget, and work hard and you're going to love it. It's a great game.
You're not telling the scouts you like that Canadian kid.
I've already said that kid is pretty good, isn't he? He reminds me of Gilbert Perreault. He can skate, he can handle the puck. I said to somebody, I think he's going to be a center in the NHL, and everybody said, no, he's a left winger. And I said, well, one of the greatest centers ever played left wing for 3 years. He didn't have a problem moving in the middle. So he just so much around the puck, and when you have that much puck sense and you have that much speed, you know, I could see him being a centerman at the next level. That's my opinion, but who knows?